Hey frugal family, welcome back. So today's video feels a little personal but also really practical. As some of you know, I've been going back to Whole Foods, back to homemade bread, smoothies, and honestly just being more intentional about what I'm eating again. But this isn't coming from some trend or pressure. This is just coming from life. For most of my life, I've been what people would call a crunchy mom. I made things from scratch. I cared about ingredients. I learned how to cook everything homemade, but then life changed. I became a working mom. And when that happened, convenience stepped in. Pot pies, frozen pizzas, casseroles, like Stouffer's. And you know what? That season served its purpose. I needed help. I needed ease, and I don't regret that. But now I'm in a different season. I'm an empty nester. I'm still working, still busy, but life looks different now. And honestly, after almost 40 years of cooking, it can get exhausting. There's this weird space you hit as a woman where you want things to be simpler, but you also want to feel good about what you're eating, and that's where I am. On top of that, my husband's eating habits are completely different now. He's on Manjaro, so he eats when he's hungry, not on a schedule. So I might cook a full meal for two, and it turns into a meal for one, which means leftovers, freezer meals, creative ways to not waste food. This is my new normal. And instead of fighting it, I'm learning how to work with it. Cooking once, eating twice or three times, freezing homemade meals for later, making things that usually make sense for a table for one. So in this season, I'm going back to homemade, but in a way that feels realistic. Not all day in the kitchen homemade, not exhausting homemade, just simple homemade. I'll be making things like easy homemade bread, smoothies where I can hide extra nutrition, meals that can stretch without feeling repetitive, comfort food, but made in a smarter way. Because the truth is, I still care about what goes into my body. I just don't have the energy to make everything the hard way anymore. So if you're in a similar season, working, tired, cooking for one or two, trying to eat better without burning out, you're in the right place. This is what homemade looks like now. And simple, flexible, imperfect, and honestly, a little more peaceful. So, all right, let's get started. I found a recipe that I love. I got it from this magazine. So I'm kind of chickened out. I'm done with chicken, but I'm gonna take out some chicken broth, bone broth, and we'll make it in a Crockpot tomorrow morning. But I'm gonna get everything ready tonight in a big Ziploc. Well, actually, I'll just do it in the Crockpot and then just because it comes out right. So it's got vegetable or rapeseed oil. We'll be using olive. This is for shoulders shoulder steaks, but we're gonna be doing a pork butt because it's super cheap. And an onion, a leek. I have green onions, carrots, woody herbs. I love that. So I'm going to use my sage, thyme, rosemary, chicken stock, Dijon mustard, cider vinegar, corn flour. They mean cornstarch. Because when it's done, I'm going to make a slurry. And the slurry is with cornstarch and honey and juices from the... This sounds good. And then I'm going to make it with mashed potatoes. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So, that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to prep it for tomorrow. And, because my first day at work was today, since I got sick. And I'm under the weather. Tonight I'm going to have fries and a burger. Bear cut me some French fries to put in the air fryer. And, do you want to do in the air fryer? Yeah, I'm going to do an air fryer. And then I'm going to prep. And that's it. That's it. Okay. So this was not a pork butt. This was a shoulder roast, I believe. And it had that weird rind on it. And so I had to cut that off. I decided to take it out of the bowl and put it in a Ziploc bag. If I wasn't so under the weather, I would have thought that out. I'm really good at efficiency because I do not like to make so many dishes for Bear. He's the one that does the dishes. And we spent, 20 years without a dishwasher. So I used to be really good at just figuring out how to use very minimal kitchen tools. But now that we have a dishwasher, we act like we're just, we're working the king's kitchen over here. But I'm going to put everything in a baggie and then just mix it up with my hands. And of course, these are cheap Walmart baggies. I won't do that again. If you're going to do meal prep, and if you're going to do, storing food in the freezer, I mean, this is an actual freezer bag, but it's not the actual zipper. So even if you get a generic brand, just get the zipper, because the ones that you have to press with your fingers, not so great. No, and sometimes I have to double up, and then you just wasted a bunch of money. So I have had to be reminded, let's not stop buying the cheap Ziplocs without the zipper. I'm using the cap of the thyme. So McCormick has come out with some organic gourmet herbs. Let me tell you what bothers me about these companies that do stuff like that. So you're telling me, McCormick, that you make a regular container of thyme. From where? From what cow patty did you get that thyme from? Because why is it cheaper than this gourmet thyme? Why can't you just have excellent quality and all your thyme be this gourmet thyme? And it literally says the word gourmet on it. What is the difference? Huh? Because there's some extra love and care. If companies would just provide the best product for the cheapest price, I would like that. Thank you. Just be better, because this is just 3 different products. McCormick has 3 different products for one herb. Thyme. That's just ridiculous. Because I was sick over the weekend, I didn't do my big prep, and that's okay. It takes me a minute just to get this stuff done, but I will be making up for it. I'm not going to skip my smoothie. They really help me, and I need it now more than ever, since, I'm getting over being sick. This smoothie's going to really help me. The sweetness was off. I prefer making it in bulk. For some reason, it just comes out perfect when I make it in bulk. But this time, it was just a little too tart. And that's okay. I still drank it. It was really good. Thank goodness my taste is off. I mean, it's not perfect. But so there, I got my smoothie done. And I could just kind of get back into the routine this weekend. We'll probably straighten up the apartment because it is a freaking mess. And then just get back to our life. So I am putting a liner in the Crockpot. I wish Reynolds Wrap would make a liner that is also a storage bag, because wouldn't that be awesome if you could prep? No, actually, I'm thinking about that. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work well. But anyway, I just poured the contents of my cheap Ziploc bag into the crock pot, and it smelled so good. It really did. It wasn't even cooked. It smelled good. I'm going to make some homemade, yes, gravy.
it's you said glove.
Yeah, it's glub glub. Here, I'm gonna swing
Well, it's hot, so careful.
Okay, I need to wash my hands.
Do you want one for here or just to go?
Let's have one for here. Well, how much time do you think we have?
6 after, 7 after.
We have a little bit of time to have a cup. This is, I'm gonna put it on high, and then whenever you check on it or you think it's falling apart, you can put it on low. Okay. Hello, welcome back. So, I work full-time as a teacher, and I don't want to sacrifice nutrition for being tired. And for those who are asking, oh no, are you anemic again? I think I will always have to deal with that, but that's not it. I've been cooking since I was 6 years old, and I know a lot of people think, you mean you helped your mommy? No. If you mean by helping my mommy while she got ready for work, she was a working mom on and off. And it was always like when she wanted new furniture, when she wanted this, she was a highly sought after lease administrator in the oil business. So my mom was a stay-at-home mom at times, not all the time. And I know that when my brother was probably about a year old, she was working when she was pregnant. So I think a little after that time, he may have been about 3 when she finally became a full stay-at-home mom and really enjoyed it. But up until then, she was a working mom. And so I remember her saying, Lisette, come here. And I'm 6 years old, and she says, here's how you're going to do it. Watch me. Now, the interesting thing about the oldest daughter and is that we do have a perception. We don't see children in our first years of life. We just see the adults in our lives. And I think that has something to do with our way of picking up things naturally. And she taught me how to make a scrambled egg once, and that was it. And that was my job. And I remember her saying this, it has to be soft. Don't overcook it. That's a strange thing. I can't even tell most teenagers that, or grown men, what a soft scrambled egg is. Because in their brain, well, a scrambled egg is soft. What are you talking about? They don't understand. My mother could explain it to me, and she said, this is how it has to be, and that was it. And so when she realized that I could do that and I could be trusted around the stove, and this isn't an electric gas stove. How do you, oh, there's a name for that. Let me Google it real quick. Like, I didn't have to light it up. It was an automatic. That's what it was. Automatic gas range. That's right. So it was an automatic gas range. And so I didn't have to sit there with matches or anything, but it was a gas stove. And when she figured, oh, this girl knows what she's doing, I also knew how to use a knife. And then she would she gave me duties right after that. I mean, immediately, Lisette, I have some meat in the fridge. Go ahead and cook it. And and so I'm sitting there cooking it, keeping it from burning. And she would come in every now and then and add seasoning. I was a crock pot, basically, or an instant pot, because I would have done anything for that to grow up with my kids. Um, I don't know why I didn't force my kids to cook. Well, it could be the fact that I didn't want them in the kitchen with me while I was cooking. I didn't realize that my mother was tired from work, and she wasn't lazy at all. This woman has a work ethic like you wouldn't believe. But, when you're a teenager, you get mouthy and you're like, God, she's so lazy. I'm doing all the work. I'm doing all the work. Then when I became a working mom, I realized, oh my God, to come home and have to do housework is not fun. But yeah, I cooked. So the whole point is that I've been cooking for over 40 years. And I'm tired, okay? I'm tired, and I'm just, I've been cooking for my family, my siblings. I've cooked for my own children. And I was only single, let me count, 5 years. Yeah. I was only single for 5 whole years before I got myself married and had some babies, and I had babies quick. So, I just I think I represent a lot of women who are just tired, but you can't give up. And I did, my last video, I said I turned to, pre-cooked meals, because even I thought I was doing such a good job eating Stouffer's. I was, I was relying on pre-prepared and highly processed foods so that I wouldn't have to go out to eat and get fast food. And yeah, one thing is better than the other, or is it? I don't know, but at the end of the day, I don't want to rely on processed foods, that processed. So I'm going to go back to basics, and I'm going to go back to making my homemade dips. This is Baba Ganoush, and I made it when the kids were younger. I also made Green Goddess. And I think I mentioned in another video, I have a cookbook. I'll get it. I'll post it. But in there is an amazing herby recipe, kind of like a Greek goddess, but without the anchovies. But yeah, and also now that I am dairy free, I'm going to have to be a little bit more creative on my dips and sauces, because I can't just use sour cream. And that was my go-to. We would go to Sam's Club and get how many
the 3 or 5 pound tub.
Yeah, the 3 or 5 pound Daisy sour cream, and we'd use that for all kinds of stuff. That was my go-to. So this is Baba Ganoush. It's one, and because it's just me, it's a kind of a small eggplant, and I roasted that face down, and now I'm taking out the flesh, and for those who are wondering about my hand, I hyperextended my thumb. What did I do? I probably woke up. I mean, I'm at that age where anything could be, pulled and stretched and spraying just for existing. But no, I think I know what I did wrong. But yeah, now it's hurt. And so, doing the weirdest tasks can hurt my thumb now, and I go into excruciating pain. So once the eggplant is roasted and you see that the skin starts wrinkling up, it's ready to go. And you just peel out the flesh. And then I'm going to let it sit over the food processor. Now, there's a hole in the middle of the food processor, right? But I'm not going to worry about that. I don't care. You just want the moisture to come out of it so that it doesn't drain on the countertop. I think I pull out a paper plate, stick it under there, and voila, you're done. You just want to trap the moisture. You could put that, in the sink, whatever you want to do. I put my roast potatoes. Those yellow ones do not cook. What do you guys think? Do y'all think they cook faster or slower than the russet? I think you're going to have a little bit more difficult time roasting the yellow ones, and I'm not quite sure why. So I just add a little bit of water to get that steamed up. Probably would have helped to put a lid on it. I don't know, but I baby these. They're vintage. Spice of Life casserole dishes, and that lid is like 3 inches of glass. It's thick, and I baby that product. Can I tell you how much this roast was delicious? I do not get sick of pork. Now, that is the struggle meal, the struggle food that my children and my husband are sick of, because just back in 2013, right, baby? Between 2013 and 2016, I could get pork butt for 99 cents a pound.
Less on sale.
Yeah, sometimes less. And it's still cheap. It's still the cheaper meat. Now, this was a picnic roast, I believe they called it. It had that weird thick layer of fat on it. But it was still good, and it was still delicious. And I will be using that recipe again. As long as I don't have fever, I'm going to work. Usually, my oatmeal doesn't change. This is a mess. But I'm such a contradiction, because when it comes to work, everything has to be consistent. Prepping for work, things I do work, I'm just a creature of habit. But at the same time, with other things, I get bored with dinner ideas. So I got some oatmeal. We got some honey. About a tablespoon of honey.
She put a mouse in front of our bedroom door.
And a tablespoon of this organic dark brown sugar, which I like. It tastes really good. Actually,
Hang on a sec.
oh, my love.
She's done it before.
Congratulations, my love. Cinnamon. And then I'm going to put a little water. You know what? I need more oatmeal today. Now, when it comes to dairy, I can't have a lot of dairy. But Greek yogurt is made a certain way that doesn't affect activities. And my issue is I don't go into anaphylactic shock. I just break out in these sores. But when it comes to Greek yogurt, it has to be full fat. And like there's basically no lactose in full fat. And I wish Chobani would have, so I let my husband use this. I mean, I'm trying to see if it affects me. Do I get a little itchy? So far I have not been itchy. But just to be on the safe side, I'm trying this Stonyfield. I like it. So I've got like 2 containers. I can't even give it to my daughter because she's breastfeeding and her baby is allergic to milk, allergic to dairy. So if she supplements, it's with goat milk. My kids love goat milk. Isn't that weird? When they were babies, it just did full on breast. I was very lazy. I didn't want to make a bottle. I know some mamas are like, it's good for you. It's good for their brains. You gotta breastfeed. I'm like, okay, but who wants to make bottles? Who wants to sterilize bottles? Why are y'all doing so much? Because I also had my kids in cloth diapers. I'm telling you, I was so crunchy. So I'll let Bear have this. He likes yogurt, with strawberries and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna tell him, hey, I cannot waste this. Let's do something with this. I mean, and I love chips and dips when I come home from work. I know that sounds so unhealthy, but it's corn chips. It's gluten-free corn chips, and I'll eat it with salsa. But sometimes I'd make like a ranch dip or a green goddess. But I made baba ganoush, so we'll see how that comes out. I was so tired. I didn't show the chicken. It came out so beautiful and moist. All it needs is 30 minutes. And what was it? 6 breasts. Perfect. So half are here in the fridge for Bear to come and I cut them in half. That's Bear size. That's a Bear bite. And then the other half in the freezer. And so he's got something to eat. And, oops. He's taken care of. And this is my oatmeal for today. Later that day, I had some vegetarian vegetable soup, and I'm eating the soup, and I'm realizing I could definitely make this. I mean, it's a little bit on the salty side, as most Campbell's soups are. So I think I'm gonna try making batches of vegetarian vegetable soup and freezing it. And then Friday night for dinner, I made homemade pizza using the sourdough pizza crust I made. A little on the thick side. Bear and I like thin crust, but you liked it, right, baby?
Very good.
Yeah, he loved it, and just used some fresh ingredients, some spinach and kale that I had in a salad mix, cherry tomatoes, and my vegan cheese. Oh, I even put some dollops of pesto in it. I love pizza because you could just put anything on it. And when we get our little deep freeze, that's on the to-buy list, I plan to just completely make some already made pizzas, fully loaded with whatever I like and whatever Bear likes. And then we don't even have to, we could skip the step of actually assembling the pizza. You know, it'd be nice to just come home and open the freezer, grab one of my pre-made pizzas and reheat it. I reheated this at 350 for about 10 minutes. And it was really good. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you liked this video. I'm still trying to get better from this cough. And please don't forget to like this video and say hi to me in the comments. And if you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe and click that notification. I'll talk to you later, guys. See you next time.